What's up, everybody? Polius here. Let's play some Magic Arena. But by that, I actually mean my good friend Drew has been bitten by the magic bug, and he wants to know about some good standard decks to play. Say hi, friend.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more magic.
Look on the bright side. You'll never have enough money to buy hard drugs,
Or have female relations.
or pay rent.
Or that.
It's okay. You can build a house of cards. With that depressing thought out of the way. So I am not the best for standard. But you were asking about a red deck wins deck. And the one that I'm particular partial to actually does not really ask much of a budget in regards to either cost of the card or, in fact, the rarity of the card. This deck right here has 4 rares.
Okay.
So most red decks will tend to have Experimental Frenzy and Goblin Chainwhirler. They are too slow for this deck.
Okay.
I have 1 Fanatical Firebrand for it's flexible and it just kind of fills out the remaining space. 4 the Lava Runners, 4 Gitu Lava Runners. They're just great. They can trade fairly well with a bunch of other aggressive cards, and they get stronger and are hasty. They also feed into Wizard's Lightning, turning this into a lightning bolt, which is outstanding. Similar to that, we have the Vyashino Pyromancer, which deals 2 damage when it enters the battlefield to a player Planeswalker. Also, a 2/1 body is not bad. They also feed into Wizard's Lightning, so if you have either one of those out, then Wizard's Lightning only costs 1.
All the wizards.
Yeah, well, those are 8 wizards, but it's a good amount.
That's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough to make it
Natural
to cast.
The other big card for here is the Electrostatic Field. So all the spells we're slinging deal damage to your opponent. Also, it's a good answer to aggressive attacky decks. That 0/4 body is really solid. Especially against Judith, who wants you to trade. The Electrostatic Field says no to that. Another defender we have is Spear Spewer, which you tap to deal 1 damage to each player, which is really important for the 2 spectacle cards we have. The first one that I'm going to go over is Skewer the Critics. Its spectacle cost turns this into a lightning bolt at sorcery speed. So this deck technically has 2 lightning bolts and a lightning strike.
Gotcha.
The other important one, and this is your card draw, is Light Up the Stage. So 2 in a red, or spectacle red. Exile the top 2 cards of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play those cards. So this gives you card draw. Filling out, we also have 4 shocks, because 2 damage for 1 red is not as good as a lightning bolt, but it's still solid. And finally, we have Risk Factor, which is one of our most expensive cards. Like, expensive cards that we can't cheat the cost out, but we can replay it. And you're either dealing 4 damage to an opponent, or you're drawing 3 cards. Unfortunately, your opponent has to decide, but in either case, this is what you want.
You're either doing 4 damage or probably getting a card that will do more damage.
Yeah. So, that's the deck. And I'm going to just do a couple games just to demonstrate how it plays. And this is going to be fairly emblematic of how burn decks in general play. So, like I said, Drew is very new to the game. He has built 2 decks, a Pauper deck and Pauper Elves. Elves and
Niv Mizzet Commander.
Niv Mizzet Perrin. How's that working out for you, by the way, while this loads?
I played it at a game night, and it worked pretty well. I won 1 game and traded off, like, pretty much it was one of those scenarios where it could either kill me or another person. And I was just passive enough that he didn't want to kill me. Yeah.
Well, this deck is the exact opposite of passive, and this is the hand that we want. So I've got 3 mountains, which is all I will ever need for anything that I play. So I'm going to keep this. I'm guessing we're either going to see mono blue... Oh, no. Footlight feed. We're going to ignore that. I'm just going to play a mountain, and we're going to pass turn. Because you want to generally play instants as late as possible. But in this case, I actually... What does this thing even do anyway? You know, it dies, deal 1 damage to any target. Okay, sure. Pass all. So I'm going to save the shock so that I can play light at the stage. Behold. I, shock. Yeah. Oh, lag. So that is triggered by Spectacle, and I'm going to go ahead and play light at the stage now for the Spectacle cost. So that's drawn me 2 cards. I can't play either of them this turn, but next turn I'll be able to play both the Mountain as my land for the turn, and play the Ashino Pyromancer. So now we just wait, and unfortunately he does have a creature on board.
So he's going to be able to do damage just constantly.
Damage
but it's only
per attack. One, yeah. So I'll go ahead and drop my Mountain. I'm going to play my Pyromancer now.
And you can actually take out the...
I can't take out the creature. It's a player or planeswalker.
Oh.
But that triggers my Spectacle. And these are at sorcery anyway, so I might as well play them now.
So explain the Spectacle again.
So Spectacle simply says you may cast a spell for its Spectacle cost rather than its mana cost if an opponent lost life this turn.
Okay.
So that includes effects from Shocklands as well as just doing damage. I don't.
Would that include like a Shockland that you? Well, I guess that would.
That wouldn't.
Only you.
Yeah, that wouldn't hurt your opponent. I'll let him do the damage. All right. So here's the thing. I'm going to go ahead and just attack right now. I don't want to reveal anything that I've got, and I really don't need to reveal anything. I mean, I could have played the Gitu Lava Runner now, but I'm going to play a little bit safe here. Probably should have played the Gitu Lava Runner. Let's drop the Mountain and end turn. Yeah. So let's see what he does. But I'm going to wait. On the end of his turn, I'm going to play Risk Factor into Wizard's Lightning. Unless he kills my Pyromancer. Yeah, sure. You got me. Ravenous Chupacabra. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to play Risk Factor. Now he's going to have to decide what do I get? Do I get 3 cards, or does he take 4 damage? It's resolved, so he's taking the damage. I'm going to do more damage to him.
All the damage.
Yep. So I'm casting this now before the Chupacabra resolves and destroys my Pyromancer.
Oh, that was smart.
Yeah, my turn. It's not what I wanted. I will play a Mountain. I'm going to go ahead and Risk Factor, and it's going to draw me... This is going to draw me 3 cards. Guaranteed. Okay. I'm going to put Electrostatic Field out. So next turn, if I can resolve a Lightning Strike between the 2, it'll kill him. Or
right.
her, Clayson. Yeah, son. And if if I lose my electrostatic field, I'll play another one and do basically the same thing. In fact, what I really could have done... okay, well, I mean... I'm going to actually block this. Simply because I don't want to like get hit with a big spell like Banefire. And again, I can afford to lose electrostatic field.
Right.
So watch. Could actually... So even if this doesn't work, then...
So he either has to block it or he dies.
It couldn't block it. He would have to counter it.
Yeah.
And there's not... I don't think there are any counters in red and black. And there you go. That's how the deck plays. And it generally will play basically like that every single time.
Right. You're just trying to do essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
More or less every time.
So, when you go into Standard, I assume you're looking to do like Friday Night Magics or whatever, and be able to like play with a sideboard and whatnot, correct?
Yeah.
So, this deck doesn't really have much in the way of sideboard. It's so laser focused on... this is not the best hand, but if I could get even a single shock, it'll be great. So I'm going to keep it. So you're not going to sideboard much here. And sideboarding is really where most of Magic the Gathering is. Oh, no. We will lose this encounter. I guarantee you.
Because I don't think... You don't have any flying.
It's not the flying that bothers me, but that's going to be a problem. It's the lifelink. Okay. This deck is designed to count to 20 as quickly as possible. So... everything we do is going to be less effective. Oh, that's not good. Alright, let's put the Lava Runner out. See, he's already... Typo's already at 21 again. And we're at 17. This is just... The tempo here is off. But as I was saying about sideboarding, this deck doesn't really sideboard. And I think the best part about Magic the Gathering is being able, especially in... 60 card decks, is being able to have a sideboard.
Okay.
Because
I've looked at a few like red deck wins, like ones, and a lot of them use like Rekindling Phoenix, but more or less it's a lot of the same.
Yeah. So, a thing to know is that there's, the Standard is actually in a really good place right now. Like, yes, red deck wins and Hydro and Sultai or Simic mid-range, which is to say kind of a either green-blue or green-blue-black balance between aggro and... Oh, I'm sorry. Mid-range means a balance between aggro and control.
Yeah.
Jerk.
It definitely seems like most of the decks are just trying to run Hydrant Crisis.
Yes.
Or Crassus, or whatever it is.
Yeah. Right, so what I was saying is... what I was saying is, there are a lot of there's a certain few decks that you can run, but there are different ways to build them. Your options with red deck wins is this instant and sorcery heavy thing. You could also go with some of the cooler red deck creatures like Skargan Hellkite and oh lord, oh lord.
That's not good.
Nope, that's game. I'm just gonna concede that. But I don't have I can't. So back what I was saying is the other thing. There are 2 points I wanted to make. Let me just sit down and explain this real quick before I go into another game. The first one is this deck doesn't play very differently between games. You either deal 20 damage or you don't. Some other decks, and that's generally true of most very focused and tuned decks. The more reliable your deck is, the less different things it's going to do. That's less true at the level of commander that you're going to play, unless you're going to drop like $10,000 into a CEDH commander deck. And that's kind of less true in Pauper, though Pauper you can get some pretty ridiculous stuff for good prices. But here, like, you've already seen how the deck will play out. There are some differences with the sideboard, and that's what makes the sideboard great, is that lets you counterplay against people. Oh, I'm playing against the life gain deck. Well, let me put this card out that makes life gain less effective. I can't think of any off the top of my head. There are some in other formats, but say you're playing against a Hydroid Krasis deck, you can play you can shift out cards that are more that can deal with that a bit better. Things with destroy target flying creature. If you look at my Chromium Control deck, which is out of date, I haven't updated it for Ravnica Allegiance. I have my solution against fast burn decks is to play where is it? This lady, who gains me life, or more cards like Vraska's Contempt, and the sideboard lets you. That's where all the counterplay is.
Yeah, because you're going to be subbing in different cards depending on your second game once you go, oh, you're doing this or that.
Right. So my recommendation, if you're just getting started in Standard, is to do one of two things. I'm holding up two fingers right now. One is to get a cheap deck that, you won't feel too bad if you don't enjoy playing a whole lot. Because that can tide you over for the Standard Friday Night Magic what's-its, until you get a deck that gives you a bit more satisfaction. The other thing is, if you can, Google the Challenger decks.
Okay. I don't think they've released this.
Not for the current set, but they're coming out soon.
Yeah.
Alright, so...
Because I learned about Challenger decks way before, well, not way before.
Yeah, when I bought the red one, right?
No, this was after I got all those packs, when I started buying cards, but then before Ravnica Allegiance came out.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like this is a thing, should I invest in this? And then I realized, oh no, like this is going to be out of date. Not necessarily out of date, but...
Yeah. Oh, it's the Challenger deck was already out of date. It had Kaladesh and Amonkhet cards.
Yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure that the only good one was the red one.
They were all decent. They were all tournament playable decks. I want to play a Lava Runner. They were all tournament playable decks. Tap target creature and draw a card. Okay, sure. Next. And they all did a fairly good job of presenting a good picture of the meta.
Not necessarily like, this will get you in really competitive play, but at least teaches you how to play.
Right, but you could pick it up and play the game.
Right. Which for a new player like me probably wouldn't be a bad thing.
It was really the first time that Wizards had ever released a product that you could like a standard product that you could take out of the box and play at Friday Night Magic. Before that, the only time that you could really do that was with their commander decks, which even the most recent commander decks, the C18, are still really good. People complain about the reprints, and even Gavin Varys, the designer, has said, yeah, the reprints were not the best, but let's go ahead and attack. But there's so much value in what they've presented. So here we have an example of I've run out my hand. Oh, I'm gonna lose both my lava runners probably. Yep.
But with risk factor, chances are you're gonna get 3 more cards.
Yeah.
Unless he wants to take the damage, but
I'm actually gonna go ahead and play Wizard's Lightning out now. Do the 1 damage to him. Get my lava runners back. And all out attack.
Boop, boop.
End turn. So if he makes me discard risk factor, I can just play it again, and that draws me 3 cards. Okay. Yep, see. So I still have risk factor available to me, but... And now before his turn, I'm going to go ahead and tap this guy and do 1 damage to him. Yep. So this is what I mean. Like, the deck is blisteringly fast. If people can't stop you, then you're just going to destroy them.
yeah, you're pretty much trying to stop anyone from getting their pieces into position to kill you. And if you can't do that, then chances are you're going to lose.
Yeah. So that's an aggro deck. And I don't think you've seen how a control deck plays. Oh, this is going to be bad. This deck is out of date.
I've watched a little bit.
Yeah. I'm going to do something that a YouTuber probably shouldn't do on video and recommend that you look up one of the control players. Day 9, Noxious, or Merchant are the ones that I watch.
I was watching his meta
Yeah.
game. Or the...
Oh, yeah. Day 9, yeah. That's a good way to go. But I wanted to just answer any questions you had. And like I said, I needed something for the Sunday slot, so I figured why not do it on camera?
Right.
One other thing we'll probably end up doing is, like, you know, we could always play games together. But, yeah, like I said, I think this illustrates, like, you saw some other ways to build red deck wins. You know,
Yeah.
there is room. It's not like I'm building red deck wins. It has to have this much of that much.
Right.
There's flexibility there, and I like I said, you've come into a time when standard really is at its best. I know industry veterans who have said standard has never been better, and take heart in that and play and enjoy the game, but also watch your wallet.
Oh yes, I'm fully aware of that. I was telling you that I was looking up that one deck for Prime Speaker Yennefer, and I was like, oh no.
Oh no.
This is going to be an expensive deck.
Oh no. Yeah. The way I do it, also, when it comes to like buying booster packs or whatever, is whenever I'm about to pick up a booster pack, I ask myself, do I want this or do I want a guaranteed Shockland?
Right. I could either do like a really good card or a booster pack.
Right. But anyway, I wish you the best of luck, and thank you everyone for watching us. We'll see you all next time.
Bye.